Doing a quick reading. Whatever messages need to come through right now. What do the angels have for us today? Eight of Water. A desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual, and emotional growth. So the Eight of Water is the Eight of Cups. And it might be a very emotional time right now. Water is emotions. And it is basically wanting to move on from a really challenging emotional situation or just the space that you're in. You might be purging a lot of old patterns, old ideas, behaviors. And when we purge, it's a good thing, first of all. The purging is to release traumas and pain, attachments we have to experiences we've had that are no longer serving us. And you might feel like you physically want to move to a new place, a change of scenery gives us new perspective and helps us sort of untangle ourselves from a web of the old things. So this might require an actual physical move, but also just wanting a change, a progression. And it's a time of spiritual and emotional growth when we feel like we're stuck in this sad place or this negative place. But what we need to remember is that when we are in this place, that it's not permanent. It might feel like it's been going on for a long time, and it might feel like you're not moving forward. But you have to allow yourself to just sit in all of that emotions, fully submerge yourself in what you're feeling. Feel it deeply, feel it fully, cry it out if you need to, scream if you need to, be vulnerable and speak to others if you need to express that emotion in some way. There's so many rituals that you can do to help to release. Movement is good. Dancing, singing, yoga, going for a run, going for a walk, or expressing it through art. We have to find a way to express our painful emotions in a healthy way. And those ways usually lead us to the things that are meaningful to us and the things that we should be sharing with the world and our purpose. So in that sense, being in this place feels bad but is really good for us. Okay, I don't want to make this too long, so I'm not going to pull too many cards. And then we have Balance, Archangel Zadkiel, which is a number 14 card, which is new beginnings and finding a place of stability. And together it's a 5, which is a lot of change happening for these new beginnings and the stability. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, and wait for perfect timing. Wait for perfect timing. When the balance is restored, then it's almost like the green light going or the door opening, and you almost effortlessly feel that momentum push you in the right direction. And then things are clear, and everything opens up and you can move and you don't feel like you're stuck anymore. So be patient with yourself while you find this balance, this emotional balance. This is the Temperance card usually. Um, this angel is standing with one foot on solid ground and one foot in the water. So it's about being able to feel your emotions and work with it, but still being grounded and not getting swept away, or not being so rigid and firm and grounded that you can't feel. It's quite a process. And we have periods where we go through this, and we often would feel like, why does this keep happening to me? Or situations like this keep happening. But it's like you have an experience, or you go through a phase, and you sort of find the balance, temperance, and then it would be too much to experience something so fully and all at once. And sometimes we do, but we are sort of gradually taken through things in cycles. You heal a little bit of a trauma, and then you are allowed to process it and understand it, and then you have experiences to see how you can integrate that now, and how you can be different and live different and react and respond differently. And then you go through that phase again, learn a little bit more, understand a little bit more, feel a little bit more, and then you again have a period where you integrate and process it, and then you have more experiences to see, okay, I've learned this now, I can respond differently. And we go through these spirals, but we're spiraling upwards. Even though when you're in this Eight of Water space, this Eight of Cups space, it feels like you're drowning or that you're spiraling downwards. But that's just perspective. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups, tender-hearted, empathic, patient, and loving. And that's what this does. It helps us gain control over our emotions. And the difficult things can either make you bitter and resentful and guarded and closed off, or it can help you find the balance between being empathic and tender-hearted and loving and open, while still being practical and logical and grounded, and have boundaries. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition and care for yourself and others. Slow down when it gets to this point. Slow down, way down. Nurture yourself and the people closest to you that are nurturing you, and allow them to nurture you as well. And we just need to be containers for each other and safe spaces when we go through these difficult places where we can fall apart, and we can allow it to be messy, but not allow it to get too ugly. Feel into our heart spaces and find places where it's safe to be you, safe to be authentic, safe to be vulnerable. And this is how relationships grow. I want to get a guidance card. Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And then pray to your angels and your guides. Your soul tribe will also find you if you reach out and open yourself up to it. And this is all divinely guided. If I can find this deck, I want one more card. Just one more. This one wants to come out. You are good enough, full moon in Virgo. Don't feel like you need to have it all together and to be Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. Release the idea that you have to be whatever is expected of you. As you are, you're good enough. And when you are authentically yourself, you allow people to actually show up for you and love you the way you need to be loved and want to be loved and deserve to be loved, because you are showing your authentic self. And yes, there will be those that don't, but ultimately we want to find those that do, so that we can also love others wholly and authentically and truthfully. You are good enough, so show up as yourself. I hope that message reaches you, and I'll see you in another video.